YTBC, what's the deal? So I just want to give my quick prediction on the fight that's going down April 2nd. Tomasz Adamek versus Eric Molina. I'm going to go with Adamek in this fight. Now, the fight's in Poland, so it's probably going to be tough for Molina to win a decision. But just breaking down their styles, even if the fight was in Vegas, I still think it'd be a tough fight for Molina to win. Now, he does have the power. He does have the size, the reach. He does have the weight advantage. He's about 6'4". Adamek is about 6'1". Adamek comes in the ring about 225, Molina about 240. Now, you probably, seen the Molina and Wilder fight. Yes, he did show heart, went down a few times. He fought with courage, but it wasn't enough, and he's a guy, he's been out, Areola put him out, but before he went out against Areola, he hurt Areola. I thought he was going to put Areola down. Then Areola turned the tide and landed some good right hands and ended up knocking Molina out in that fight in the first round. But Molina does have a good right hand, like when I watched the Grano fight. And he's a guy that needs to be pumped up and motivated before a fight. Obviously, the Wilder fight was his title fight. Him and Grano got into a little, altercation at the weigh-in. He needs to be motivated for his fights. That's one thing I noticed about Molina. You can say that about all fighters. But he's going to have to keep Adamek on the outside, a la what Vitaly Klitschko was able to do. He was able to keep Adamek on the outside. Whether Vili was going backwards or coming forward, he always kept the distance between him and Tomasz Adamek. Adamek, he likes to do a little bit of both. When he's rolling, he likes to come forward, throw, anywhere from 3 to 5 punch combinations. He likes to get off, then he likes to circle away, either left or right, stop, plant his feet again, throw another 5 to 4 punch combination, circle away again. That's what he likes to do. That's when he's on. That's when he's on, when he's able to come forward and backwards. You watch his fights from 2014, the loss to Glaskov. Glaskov was just able to use his jab on his ass, man. He was jabbing. He was pretty much able to out Adamek, just by jabbing and moving. And when he did come forward and walk him down, he just kept controlling Tomasz Adamek with his jab. Adamek didn't know what to do, man. It's like when you control him with your jab and keep distance between you and him, you can beat him. But when you try to be just one-dimensional, he'll have his way, because then he can come forward or go backwards. And you got to remember, he's a guy, former champion at light heavyweight and cruiserweight. So he has the pedigree of a championship level fighter, something Molina has never been able to do. So I'm going to pick Adamek in this fight. He is 39 years old. He's getting up there in age. He did have one fight this past year. So 39, Molina's 33. But again, like I always say, man, the last time I looked on BoxRec, 12 of the top 20 guys were 34 years or older. Adamek is getting up there because he has been in there with a handful of guys, man. Spilka and Cunningham and Glaskov and Vitaly, So he's been in there with his fair share. But I think, he just has the faster hands. I don't think either guy's going to knock each other out, Molina does have the all the attributes, man, as far as, just the physical size to implement the game plan against Adamek, but he doesn't fight like that. He's a guy, he likes to throw up the high guard. And the high guard and let your guy get off against Adamek isn't going to work, because that's what Adamek wants to do, get off punches and circle. And I think when Molina goes to put up the high guard to let him get off, which a lot of these tall heavyweights like to do, he's going to put the high guard up. Adamek's going to land his 3, 4, 5 punch combination. Then he's going to circle to his left or right. I believe he'll do that all night. I believe that Molina will have opportunities to land that right hand. Adamek isn't a master defensive technician. He'll go to his high guard too. But for the most part, he does like to use his legs. And Molina needs you set so he can land. He's not a guy that likes to punch while he's moving. He's not a Larry Holmes or Ali or a Jimmy Young type fighter. He wants to hit you when his feet are set and he can get torque behind that right hand. But I'm going to go with Tomasz Adamek, and hopefully, Izzy Ogano is going back to Poland, man. So hopefully, Adamek, he did lose to Spilka in Poland, and pretty much Spilka was able, he's fighting off that southpaw stance. He was able to out Adamek again, the same way Glaskov. He just outspeeded him, and he was fighting off his back foot and coming forward. He was just a quicker fighter in there with Adamek. Speed gives Adamek trouble. His advantage is being the faster guy, but when you're faster than him or your work rate is higher than his, then he has a little bit of trouble. Or when you keep him at distance. You know what I mean? But hopefully Israel Agano can be that guy that takes that fan base in Poland over. You know, a lot of guys are telling me that, you know, Israel Agano's going to have trouble because he's a black Polish fighter. That's just from what fans have told me. But I think, hey, man, if he gets in there with Adamek and beats him, I think he could take that fan base over. And maybe, you know, Spilka can win another few fights because he did get knocked out brutally against Wilder. Get a few fights under his belt and probably go over there and fight Agano. But I want to see, you know, some good Polish dust-ups this year. But in this fight, Tomasz Adamek, unanimous decision over Eric Molina. YTBC. I'm out.